Hello everyone, my name is Matt and I've been a tutor for almost 10 years now. I tutored all throughout my undergrad degree, in which I got a bachelor's in cell biology and anatomy, and all throughout my medical school, in which I'm training to be an emergency medicine doctor with an MD. And I've realized with tutoring hundreds of different students that the transition from grade 8 to grade 9 can be very hard. There's a lot of different changes. Even like socially, maybe your friends group might change, but also the content does get a little bit harder, and the teachers do expect a little bit more from their students. So to help ease that transition, I kind of wanted to create a YouTube series to go over all of the big math concepts for grade 9. And so we're going to start off with just understanding numbers, right? What is a rational number? And how do different types of rational numbers, like whole numbers, differentiate from integers? And what are decimals, and how can we add, subtract, and multiply decimals? How can we do the same with fractions? In the second video, we're going to do order of operations, which is BEDMAS, and this might be a review from grade 8, but brackets, exponents, division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. It's basically, when do you do which operations? How do you know? And fortunately, some very smart mathematicians kind of figured that out for us, and they created a blueprint for all of us to follow. Once that's complete, we're going to go over exponents and powers, right? Maybe you saw, what is 3 squared? Well, what does this even mean? We're going to go over that, and hopefully we'll make a little bit more sense, and you'll be acing your grade 9 course. Finally, we'll go over the real meat and potatoes of grade 9 math, which is algebra, right? We'll start with algebraic expressions, just simplifying the expressions, combining like terms, and expanding expressions, right? Algebra is kind of when math and the alphabet come together, right? So 3 plus x equals 5. Well, how do I know what x is? We'll figure that out together, right? But in this case, if I subtract 3 from both sides, I can cancel this out, and I get x equals 5 minus 3, x equals 2, right? And that's a real quick version, but we can go through it together in video number 4. Next, we're going to do linear equations, right? And solving linear equations is really just equations that can create a straight line. And they're going to have a specific form called y equals mx plus b, but we'll get back to that later. Next, we'll figure out what the Cartesian plane is. The Cartesian plane is just a type of graph that mathematicians really like, because you can plot a whole bunch of different things, right? So it's a graph that has an x-axis and a y-axis, and we can make graphs or specific lines on that graph, and we'll go through all of that together, right? And using these graphs, we can plot points, we can find the distance between the 2 points that we plot, and we can even find the midpoint between these 2 plots. After that video, we'll go over linear relationships, and this is where y equals mx plus b comes back. And how do we graph those linear relationships on the Cartesian plane that we just learned about before? And then finally, once we get rid of all of that algebra, we get into geometry, right? And geometry is just going to be, first, how do we find the perimeter, which is the distance around a shape? How do we find the area, which is everything in between? And then when we get to 3D shapes, how do we figure out what surface area is and volume is of different shapes? And these are all just equations that we're going to figure out together. And then last but not least, we'll go over the properties of triangles and listen to the teachings of a very, very famous mathematician, Pythagoras. But yeah, so this is what we're going to go over, and hopefully I'll get it done in these 8 videos. Maybe I'll expand it if I feel like we have to go into a little bit more detail. But yeah, hopefully this is going to ease your transition. I know going into high school can be a little bit scary, but we can make it a little bit easier, and hopefully we can make you the expert in your grade 9 math class. And as I said, I also have a degree in medicine. My specialty really is biology and chemistry. I guess a little bit of physics as well. So if there's any other courses that you want a series like this on, let me know and I can try and make something. All right. See ya.